Well, it's nice across the East Coast for now. Changes are on the way as we head into the weekend and next week with much colder temperatures, and we are seeing some big changes across the Rockies. Places like Denver, feet of snow in the forecast here, and rain marches east. The National Weather Service has a slew of winter storm warnings up for Denver. Some places could see 2, maybe even up to 3 feet of snow. We've been talking about this for the last couple of days, and it looks like it's happening here across parts of Colorado. Let's start with the upper levels. We've started here over the last couple of days, and we've got this upper low that's dropping into the Four Corner states. This cutoff low is going to continue to sag to the south, eventually moving toward California, and then we've got this big ridge here across the west. This has been consistent for the last several days now. Now, I would say maybe Sunday into Monday, it looked like next week there was the potential for a winter storm in the east. That doesn't appear to be the case now because if you go back and watch some of the old videos, I said this piece of energy and this have to connect in order to see that. We're still going to see the cold in the east. I don't think that's changing. That I'm feeling confident about heading into early next week. But this cutoff low, again, even today's model saying it's just not going to connect up with this piece of energy swinging through the east. Again, below normal temperatures are in the forecast here heading into next week. And it's going to be chilly too with lake effect snow showers kicking in. Some of that could be heavy downwind of the lakes. But what we're not seeing is a big storm blowing up the east coast. However, there's a lot to talk about in the short term. We've got rain showers pushing to the east and some severe weather as we head into Thursday with the risk of strong damaging winds, even some tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center highlighting this area really from Chicago, which it does include Chicago, southwestward, I would say, through most of Illinois, parts of Iowa, and then it really picks up here into Missouri, back through Arkansas, east Oklahoma, down into Texas. Storms will be ongoing here when this outlook kicks in. We've got them going today. This is the outlook for Thursday. And then there's also the potential for some tornadoes. The highest risk right here across parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. We've got a lot of wind shear. And heading into the next day, so as we move toward Friday, that threat shifts a little bit further to the east and south. It doesn't look as strong as what we're going to see tomorrow, but the best chance for severe weather will be right here across the deep south from Georgia all the way back through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and East Texas. Now across the west, we've got the snow going here into Colorado. Again, places like Denver, where we're under winter storm warnings, and back into the Front Range, are going to get 2-3 feet of snow. Look at this number here. Do you see this 50 inches showing up here on the model across parts of the Front Range here into Colorado? West of town, especially into the western suburbs, 2 feet easy. And then up in the mountains, more than that. You get that upslope flow here with the high pressure to the north and the strong deepening low pressure off to the east. And that's just going to create a lot of snow here. Rain spreads to the east as we move into Friday too. That severe threat also pushes into the south as we move through Friday. So now we're looking here as our front drops in from the north. Some cooler air on the way, I think, for most of these areas, but the real cold air is back here. That's going to be moving in as we move towards, say, Saturday and Sunday. First, it's going to move across the northern plains states. It'll be pushing into places like Minneapolis, into Chicago, Wisconsin, down into most of Indiana and Illinois. And eventually, we'll start to see snow showers here around the lakes. Rain showers back across the Gulf Coast toward the first part of the week. And again, if we could have really connected this piece of energy with this, we would have had a huge storm up and down the East Coast. That's just not going to happen this go around, I think, at this point. I'm feeling more and more confident here. But this cold air is going to drop in, and there's your lake effect snow showers going heading into Monday and Tuesday with below normal temperatures for most of the east. Now we'll have to watch. Do we see disturbances ride in from the northwest? Maybe. That could enhance some of the snow showers, particularly in the mountains, say from, I'd say even as far south as western North Carolina, up into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and then downwind of the Great Lakes here into New York. And we'll even see some lake effect snow here back toward Michigan. Now, things do start to calm down around the lakes. The winds will start to back off for the northeast too, and then we'll start to dry out some. Temperatures staying below normal, at least for the northeast through Thursday, maybe even into Friday of next week. Below normal for March standards, and then we start to warm up some. Not a huge warm up, but I would say a bit of a warm up toward the end of next week with our next system that kicks off to the east. Still a lot of time to go with this, but it looks like March is trying to go out like a lion with a very stormy pattern setting up across the East Coast. This is the GFS from today. It also has the idea of that trough digging into the East Coast with snow showers pulling in behind it with your big storm going up here into the Canadian Maritimes and really wrapping up toward the middle part of next week. And there's that cold air just lurking up here north of the border, keeping us below normal, I think, for the mid-Atlantic. Now, don't take any of these storms verbatim, but look at the GFS try and blow up another snowstorm what, 270 hours out? Yeah, I'm not going to believe any of this, but I don't think we're done with the storminess. Now, as far as snow goes, most of that will be limited to the interior areas around the Great Lakes with some lake effect snows, maybe down to the mountains of West Virginia, a couple of inches, and then downwind of the lakes here into New York State, places like Erie, Pennsylvania, up to, say, Buffalo, really south of Buffalo, because again, I think we get that northwest flow here, almost like what we saw about a week ago with that strong northwest wind, and then some snow in the higher elevations into the Green and White Mountains and into parts of Maine. And again, Thursday will be a severe weather day for this area. I would definitely want to be weather aware, and they've even highlighted this area with a hashed area. That tells you that there's a significant chance of hail in these areas tomorrow. Now, it's hard to believe 31 years ago today, we were dealing with the superstorm of 1993. I've made a review video of that right here. I'll see you there.